All right, let's dive into something really deep today. We're looking at a teaching from Acharya Prashant, and it's all about true freedom. But this isn't some abstract idea, it's a story that's going to ask you to look at the invisible strings that might be pulling you around in your own life. And more importantly, it's about finding the scissors to cut them. So let's get into it. Okay, so right out of the gate, Acharya Prashant hits us with this incredibly powerful, almost cinematic image. He says, if your self-worth depends on anything, life will play with it like a puppet on strings. Wow. A puppet, you know? It's every move, every feeling, just dictated by some unseen hand. And here's the real gut punch. The teaching is basically saying, hey, for a lot of us, that puppet, well, that's you. That's me. That's us. So that leads to a really confronting question, doesn't it? You've got to ask yourself who or maybe what is pulling your strings. Because before we can even talk about freedom, we have to get real about what's controlling us. We need to understand the stage we're on and the strings that are making us dance. All right, let's really lean into this idea. Let's explore what it feels like to be that puppet on a string. To live a life where your sense of who you are is just constantly at the mercy of everything happening around you. And this is exactly what it's like, right? It's this constant emotional whiplash. You know the feeling. Life lifts you up, you get that promotion, someone says something nice, and boom, you feel elevated on top of the world. But then life puts you down. You get some criticism, something doesn't work out, and you just feel diminished, small. You're not really in the driver's seat. You're just reacting to whatever life throws at you.
And Ashriya Prashant just puts it so simply, so perfectly. All this is no fun. It's just not. I mean, think about it. It's an absolutely exhausting, anxiety-filled way to exist, just always waiting for the next pull of the string, wondering if it's going to lift you up or slam you down. Okay, so if we're the puppets, then what are the strings? What are these invisible forces? Well, in this teaching, they're called the external yardsticks. And these are the things we use, often without even realizing it, to measure our own value. And here they are. These are the culprits, the puppet masters. Your situations, am I winning or losing today? Your circumstances, am I comfortable or am I struggling? Your possessions, what car do I drive? What house do I live in? And even your destination in life, like, have I made it yet? We let these things become so huge that they literally start to define who we think we are. But here's the massive fundamental flaw in this whole setup. Every single one of those things is fleeting. It's all temporary. Situations change in a heartbeat. Possessions come and go. Circumstances shift like the wind. So when you tie your identity, your very sense of self, to something that's totally unstable, what do you get? Well, you get a life of instability. It's just guaranteed. Okay, get ready, because this is where the teaching takes a really dramatic turn. You might think the solution is to just find better yardsticks, right? But no, that's not it at all. The teaching suggests the problem isn't the yardsticks themselves. It's the fact that we're measuring ourselves in the first place. The real trap is the very idea of self-worth. And this is just a brilliant insight. Think about the term itself, self-worth. The word worth implies a value that has to be, well, determined. And how do you determine value? You have to measure it. You have to compare it to something else, right? You need some kind of external reference point. So the concept itself, just by existing, forces you to look outside yourself for validation. It's like a dependency that's baked right into the idea. So look at how this chain reaction plays out. It's laid out perfectly here. Step 1, you hold on to this concept of having self-worth. Step 2, that concept just naturally has to depend on something external. Step 3, that external thing, because it's part of the world, is going to change. It's inevitable. And step 4, you become a victim. You're just tossed around by things you can't control. It's a logical, completely inescapable trap once you're in it. So, if the concept itself is the trap, then what's the escape hatch? What's the way out? Well, the solution Acharya Prashant offers is pretty radical, but it's also incredibly liberating. It's not about finding a stronger, better string to hold you up. Nope. It's about cutting all the strings. And this right here is the absolute key. True freedom begins when you stop measuring yourself by external yardsticks. So freedom isn't about finally getting enough success to have a high self-worth. It's about dropping the whole project of measuring yourself, period. And this is the ultimate point, the core of the whole teaching. The only real freedom
is to let go of the very concept of self-worth altogether. Just drop it. Stop needing to be worthy. Imagine existing without that constant, nagging little voice asking, "Am I good enough?" Because once that question is gone, you're not a puppet anymore. You're not waiting for life to give you the answer. So what does that actually feel like? I mean, what is life like on the other side of this whole puppet show once the strings are finally cut? It's not some kind of empty void. It's a deep, profound relief. Just try to imagine the weight of it all. That constant burden of managing your image, protecting your reputation, always having to prove your value. Letting go of self-worth isn't a loss. It's like you're finally being relieved of the heaviest backpack you never even knew you were carrying. And this is the greatest freedom. Just to be. To simply exist without needing validation from anyone or anything. To act, to create, to live your life without your value being on the line with every single outcome. According to Acharya Prashant, this isn't just one type of freedom. It's the greatest freedom there is. And so the teaching leaves us right here with this one last huge question. Once you're no longer a puppet, no longer defined by the stage or the script or the applause, once you are truly, completely free, what comes next? What's even possible then? What will you choose to do with that freedom?